Willie D Live.
What's up, family? According to reports, Diddy is coming home sooner than expected. I ain't got no problem with that because Donald Trump is still free. That's right, I said it. Donald Trump is free. And Donald Trump is accused of doing 1,000 times worse than what Diddy is being accused of. Yeah, fam. Let's get into this article. This is by way of USA Today. Sean Diddy Combs' prison release date moves up again. Yeah, hater don't like that. Sean Diddy Combs has had his release date moved once again amid his 50-month federal prison sentence. The rap music mogul, who is behind bars at New Jersey's FCI Fort Dix after a jury found him guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution in a federal case last July, is now set for release on February 23, 2028. Combs was previously set to be freed on April 25, 2028. The Federal Bureau of Prisons declined to comment on the reason for the change, noting that it does not discuss the conditions of confinement for any individual, including release plans. However, the Bureau cited general reasons a release date would be moved up, including for good conduct time credits from approved programs, and activities and credit for time served before sentencing. Diddy's release date has been moved up twice in the last 2 months. Now, there are people who are saying, nah, man, lock him up, lock him up. I say lock him up, but lock him up for what he did. Diddy has done some things that people that I rock with have accused him of. It was pretty diabolical. And I actually believe him. But I say get him for that. See, the reason why I say don't get him for stuff that he did not do, because if they can do it to Diddy, they can do it to us. That's all I'm saying, fam. That's why they got to be consistent in the law. We can't get in our feelings when it comes to law, right? It's just like the death penalty. I'm against the death penalty because there have been too many people falsely accused and executed, innocent people executed, that was wrongfully convicted. Now, I know for some of y'all who ain't never gonna do no wrong and ain't never gonna have somebody in your family do wrong or falsely accused, that don't mean nothing to y'all. But for somebody like me, who have been in the system, who know people that's in the system, and who know people that have been falsely accused and executed, they got to take it off the table. Now, having said that, I got to be 100% transparent with y'all. When my little cousin got killed by this cat, I was trying to find him, fam. The authorities found him before I could. Now, once the authorities found him, I was like, the death penalty should not be on the table. Like, no, man, no, that's not a death penalty. I don't, if we can't, let's say, make contact ourselves, then let the system have him, right? And that's what happened. He got a bunch of time, though, whole bunch of time. So I just believe in being consistent, Certain things I say, let the law handle. Law can't be everywhere, though. So in order to stay safe or relatively safe or marginally safe, you have to protect yourself, right? Because ain't nobody coming to save us. You better believe that. We're on our own. This government is not here to protect us. The government is here to control us. Yeah, the government is here to eat off of us, to use us. All that other stuff is just game. All that national anthem playing and patriotism stuff and God bless America and the American people, the American people, the American people. That's game. That's game. And as soon as you recognize it, man, you know, sooner you're going to be all right. Yeah. They want to give Diddy all this time for something that he didn't do. They want to give him time for something that other people do all the time. They want to give him time for something that other people, even when they're found to be doing it, they don't get penalized. What do you think all these conferences are about? What do you think America's 250th anniversary was about? You think it wasn't a big old gathering of freaks? You think it wasn't a whole bunch of sex and condoms popping and raw stuff going on all around DC? You better believe it. These people are trying to have fun. They're out to have a ball. These retreats that people go on and all this type of stuff, when you get on a plane and go to a retreat out of town or out of the country for the purpose of having a good time, and those good times usually include the expectance of sex. That's a RICO, according to the United States government, because that's how they hit Puffy with. That's what they hit him with. His assistants telling everything that they know about him. That's what I fear about assistants, because an assistant has to be an extension of you. Otherwise, you don't need them. You got to have an assistant really is pretty much doing everything that you don't have the time to do, right? Or you don't want to do. Assistants, just like if you want a basketball court, you pass the ball, you assist, right? So anyway, fam, yeah, they doing all of that stuff, raising all that hell over Diddy, but at the same time, loving on Cassie. See, that's what I'm saying, fam. I don't like the inconsistency. I think it's hypocritical, extremely hypocritical. If Diddy is a predator, so is Cassie. She rode shotgun. Now, you know, me and you pull up at a grocery store. I walk in, come running out with the cash. You take off. We both going to jail if we get caught. You know that. They're not going to say, police are looking for one individual who a black man with a bald head and a trap museum sweatshirt on. They're going to be like, and they're going to describe you. They're going to describe me and you. Yeah, and the driver is believed to be, yeah, that's how that go. So how is it that Cassie gets a pass? That's all I'm saying, fam. And trust me, I am a huge advocate for victims. At one point, Cassie was a victim. And then Cassie became a predator. And this happens a lot. A lot of times people are victims and they morph into predators. It has something to do with human nature. You know, we are who we are by a process of conditioning. It's Pavlov's law, you know? We are who we are by a process of conditioning. And I do believe Cassie was conditioned by Diddy to engage in these freak-offs but as far as liking it, that could have been something that she had in her already, you know? Like, I don't think like he get her on and then all of a sudden she started liking it, because I think it had to be in her already. She already showed she had the propensity to not be loyal when she stepped out on, what's his name? Is it Ryan Leslie, I think his name is? The producer who brought her in again, gave her first hit record, who sat in the meeting with her, brought her inside the slaughterhouse where Puffy could have access to her. Yeah. Diddy actually did Ryan Leslie, that's his name, Ryan Leslie, a favor. One could say Diddy did him a favor because Cassie had it in her to not be loyal, to go to the highest bidder, so to speak. So she jumped ship the moment she saw an opportunity to get further with her career. She left Ryan Leslie behind and went over there to Diddy. So Ryan, I know you were hurt, buddy. I know it hurt. I know it hurt to lose the woman you love, especially to a man that you know, a man that you brought her around. I know that hurts. But whatever investment you made in her, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, whatever it was, whatever time you spent, man, consider that the price to get away from her. And because the sooner you know about a bad person, the better. I know some of y'all women don't like that, but I got to call a striker striking, a ball a ball. If I'm going to praise the women who got their stuff together and they are carrying themselves in a way that's dignified and classy, and, you know, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, you know, they're handling business in an honorable manner, I'm gonna give you your flowers all day long. But I'm gonna be consistent at the same time. I'm not finna pile all women in the same pot. I'm not finna put all the women in the same pot. Just like if I drag a woman, I'm not gonna drag all women. I'm not that stupid. I'm not that big of a fool. I'm not gonna drag all women for the actions of one or two or three or four or 3 or 400, 3 or 4 million. No, I'm not that big of a fool. But I'm also not that big of a fool to not be able to recognize a H-O. Yeah. Cassie, making them phone calls without Diddy even having to ask. She ain't innocent, man. At one point, she was innocent. And then she became diabolical. She became the person that she hated the most. So if Diddy's in jail, which he is, Cassie should be sharing a cell. At the very least, if they gave Diddy 50 months, Cassie should have got 25 months. At the very least. This sets a dangerous precedent because what's going to happen is people are going to commit crimes. And as long as they're not the big guy, the main guy, they're going to give the main guy up when they get hot. That's going to be their get out of jail free card. Every time when people close in, they're just going to throw the boss under the bus and they're going to walk off scot-free. And they'd have committed all kinds of crimes. You do know that Cassie's life was ruined, but you do know that also that Cassie ruined other people's lives. Whenever Diddy do get out, I don't know how he's going to be able to rebound from this. I think because he has so much money, he can insulate himself and kind of control his environment more. But as far as being that guy who's invited to everything and trusted and having that brand intact, that brand is tainted. That brand is damaged. And I don't know if he can repair it. One thing I do know about America, if he can find a way to win, if he can win, America let you in the party. Well, what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.